All across America, thousands of children are able to receive medical care due to a federal health initiative called the State Children's Health Insurance Program, or SCHIP. Through this and other cost-effective programs, we have reduced the number of uninsured children in America by 1/3. However, there are still 9 million kids who do not have health insurance. In order to cover all uninsured children, budget experts believe that Congress will need to commit $60 billion to children's health over the next 5 years. This March, 400 PICO-trained community leaders representing congregations nationwide came to Washington, D.C. to fight for children's health care.
I take pride in working so hard to get to where I am today, from not having an education or any skills to now, having my GED, taking classes at the university, managing this condominium building that I used to clean, and still not be able to afford healthcare coverage. It's sad. It's devastating.
We speak with the voices of our people in churches, mosques, and synagogues around this country. We speak with their stories, and that has a power.
When I was here for the first time in 2004, I remember coming into the room and thinking, what do I have to bring to this table? There are other people far more qualified than I am. I remember I went to the Lincoln Memorial. Had never been in this city. Never thought I would even get here, for that matter. As you could say, I had an epiphany while I was there. Because I was able to see not only where I was standing in the physical, it's just an amazing place, but where I was standing in my life. And then I was able to understand that I do have something to offer at the national level. So I kind of did become the spokesperson. And it has been hard. Because although I thought before, if I keep telling the story, it'll get easier, it doesn't. Because it doesn't change the fact that my kids don't have health care coverage.
Even as we walk amidst these great buildings that make up this place, even as we talk with people who are great people in their own right, I want to remind us of what the prophet said a long time ago. There are more with us than there are with them.
In the more than 120 congressional visits we are doing today, we are asking the same question. What will you do to make sure that Congress puts the $60 billion needed in the federal budget resolution to help states reach the goal of covering all children by 2012?
The fact that we're even talking about this number of $60 billion in the open and proudly talking about it, and I think it's because of PICO's work that we have pushed this issue far enough along that it is something that we're not shying away from, and the rest of our allies are also joining on that as well.
We are a policy and research organization, so we look at the issues, we look at the data, but we don't have any legs to our ability to make policy change. But it's organizations like PICO that can really push change forward.
And I believe that more funds are needed within this program so that kids like me, who are the future, can make it to the future.
Would like to thank as well as welcome our Senator, and she is going to help us to make sure that we get how much? $60 billion!
$60 billion is a big number, so I'm glad I've got my colleagues here to share that.
And also in Pennsylvania, I want you to know too that a new program has been created essentially to make sure that children between 200 and 300% of poverty will be eligible for low-cost CHIP or SCHIP.
It's not an issue that ought to have a label, a Democrat or Republican on it. This is an issue of common sense, and it's also a fundamentally moral issue. We understand.
Your presence here really does make a difference. And so thank you for
$60 billion.
As we stand here boldly, sharing, opening our lives, opening ourselves up to criticism. And we stand here asking that Congress also stand boldly.
I sit on the Budget Committee of the Senate.
Amen.
It is my intention, working with other colleagues who believe in common cause, to achieve the opportunity that no child in America goes to sleep at night without health care coverage.
I'm on the Budget Committee too in the House of Representatives. You know, some people look at budgets as financial documents. I think all of us look at budgets as moral documents.
We need to fully fund the program. You've heard my colleagues talk about that. You know that number, what is it? $60 billion.
And so you're going to see from this legislature a push to fully fund the health care for children. And that's a start. We need it for everybody, but we can start with the children.
Frank Pallone is actually the chairman of the subcommittee that's writing the SCHIP law. Right. So here's what I'd like to do as a matter of protocol. I'd like to ask him if he would mind me writing such a letter. Okay. If he doesn't, I will.
We thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you for being my lawyer.
I'm excited to hear you saying $60 billion. Well, he gave us a 5-point plan for how he thought that the money could be obtained to push it forward. That impressed me.
I feel privileged to be a part of something that's so important. It will make such a difference, not just for the children that we're advocating for, but for the whole country. It's the right thing to do.
We walked through the Hart Senate building. We walked through the Rayburn building. We walked through the Cannon building.
This work can definitely wear you down, but it can also lift you up at the same time.
The roads might get tough. The hills might get a little hard to climb.
My legs hurt right now, and my eyes are a little dreary, but I'm really feeling energized by what's happened here.
Andrew Young referred to PICO as an organization whose values and movements were very similar to the civil rights movement with Dr. King. We are on this journey to the promised land.
So I think PICO adds an enormous amount to that debate. They're not here to make a buck. They're not here for ego. They're here because of their faith and because they care about it deeply. And I think that says a lot.
PICO is right on target. We're right in the cutting edge. We're doing what we ought to do.
We must continue to fight for righteousness, for justice, for equality. Our children will have health care. There will be affordable housing coming down the line. People won't be dying unnecessarily. We shall get to this promised land. We got to fight, not give up, and one day we shall get to the promised land.